My father had a stainless steel warehouse when I was getting out of college, and I went to work for him. Over 4 years, I had a variety of jobs. I started out working in the warehouse and then became a salesperson, and eventually it was just a 5-person operation. The warehouse manager left, and my dad asked if I would be able to manage the warehouse in addition to selling the steel. And I said yes. So here I'm a young guy. I would come in the morning and make some sales calls. I was dressed in a suit. And at lunchtime, I would come back. I would change into my work clothes. I'd help the guys in the warehouse load the truck. I'd hop in the truck and I'd deliver the steel to our customers. I had a ball. I loved it. Every week, I had a motivational meeting with the warehouse to make sure that we were having 0 defects and people were showing up on time. I loved it. But then my dad sold the business, and the new owners came, and they said, we don't need you to do any more motivational meetings with the warehouse staff. If they don't show up on time, fire them and get some other. We want you to go out and sell. So I did it for about 6 months. Then I said to my dad, hey, you know, I'm not really happy doing this. I really want to do those motivational meetings every week. I want to get into that line of work. And my father said, don't do it. You can't start your own business. Stay here. You've got a country club. You've got a car. You've got an expense account. You got a nice salary. What do you want to give all that up for to go do something else? And I said, Dad, because I'm not happy. And he goes, Bill, it's work. You're not supposed to be happy. If it was, you know, happy, they wouldn't call it work. And my father and I have got a great relationship, but I just decided that I was not going to spend my life doing something that I just didn't love to do. And that was probably 30, 35 years ago. Today, more and more people are coming to the same conclusion I came to in the late 70s. They don't want to just work. They want to be engaged with their work. They want to be happy with their work. They want to feel like they're making a meaningful difference in the lives of other folks. I had the opportunity to work with a gentleman by the name of Marty Seligman. Marty Seligman is the founder of positive psychology. And he decided that why is the field of psychology just focusing on taking somebody that he says was at a -10 in the area of depression and getting them to 0? What would happen if we took the same field of psychology and said, how do we get people to go from a 0 to 10? How do we help them flourish? One of the things that he discovered was that you will be fully engaged and happier if you use your strengths to serve other people. He actually did an experiment where he gave people some money, and he told them to go out and have a good time. Do something that's going to make yourself happy, right? So some people went to a concert, some people went to a sporting event, some people played golf. They just did something that they thought was going to make them happy. But they all had kind of meters on them. And he asked them to kind of indicate their level of happiness throughout the activity, throughout before, during, and after. So a lot of people were very high on the happiness scale when they were thinking about and planning the event, and even when they got to the event. But what he found is their happiness level started to decrease over time. Another group, what he said to them is, I want you to find a cause that you believe in. I want you to find something that you believe is meaningful and use your skills, your strengths, to serve that cause, to do something that would make a difference in the lives of others. These people also had a little meter on them to indicate their level of happiness. And to no surprise to him, those individuals that were using their talent to serve others in a meaningful way, their happiness level was not only higher, but it was more sustained over time. Along the same time, the Gallup organization was doing their research on engagement. There was a gentleman named Marcus Buckingham who wrote a book called Now Discover Your Strengths years ago. And what they found was very similar to Marty Seligman, is that for people to be fully engaged at work, they had to be using their talent. And we're asked, do you have an opportunity to use your talent on a regular basis? Was one of the important questions that they had asked. Do you know what their research found? After interviewing thousands of people at hundreds of companies around the world, what they found is only about 25% of the people felt fully engaged, totally committed, showing up every day as an owner of the company. 50% of these people were disengaged. Good people, but they were showing up and they were leaving their spirits in the car. One gentleman told me about an assistant he had, that he would call her in and say, I would like to, share some things, some actions that we need to take. Make sure you bring a pad of paper in. And literally this woman would come in with a pad of paper. As he was starting to speak, she said to him, oh, I got to go get a pen. And he thought, my God, do I got to tell you to bring a pad of paper and a pen in? This was a great woman. She was just showing up for a paycheck. The third category, the final 25%, are what they call actively disengaged. These are your corporate terrorists. These are the people that show up every morning. They don't like their company. They don't like their coworkers. They don't like their customers, and they're vocal about it. They complain about everything. The surprising thing about this population, though, is they're not going anywhere. They complain all day long, and at the end of the day, they say, goodbye, I'll see you tomorrow. I worked in jail for years. The people that I dealt with there, they didn't have a choice. They couldn't go anywhere. But these corporate terrorists do. They have a choice, even if the job market is bad. No one should stay in a job that they don't like for an extended period of time. They had a choice, and so do you. In my experience, the people that have been out of work for a while fall into those same ratios. 25%, in my experience, are totally committed to finding the right job for themselves. Every day, they make finding a job their career, their job. They're studying their strengths. They're analyzing their opportunities. They're doing something every day to move themselves closer to serving others with their unique strengths. About 50% of the people show up and they're waiting for something to happen to them. They're waiting for a job. They're waiting for an opening. They're waiting for somebody to answer their resume, to give them a call. They're good people, but they're a little passive. And then you also have those 25% that are still complaining. They're still victims. They're still talking about the fact that they shouldn't be let go. What category are you falling in? I believe you're in the top 25%. I believe you wouldn't be listening to these video segments if you weren't totally committed to finding the right job, the right career for yourself. And since you are, your assignment today is to go to jobboxreport.com, click on the Tools section, and look for AuthenticHappiness.org. On that site, you are going to find several free self-assessments. I'd like you to go to the section that calls Engagement. There's about 7 instruments there, 7 questionnaires. I'd like you to answer all 7 of those. They're all free. When you finish the self-evaluation, you're going to be given a report. You're going to be told what your signature strengths are, what your authentic happiness ratio is. And what I'd like you to do is just spend some time reflecting on that. In future sessions, we're going to talk about how you can capitalize on those strengths and what you can do to serve consistently with those. And just like myself 35 years ago, when I told my dad that it's time for me to do what I love, it's time for you. It's time for you to use your strengths and truly flourish using your talent to serve others in a remarkable way. So that's it for today. I'm Bill Durkin, and this is One Positive Place at jobboxreport.com.